y'all hear me? Awesome. Well, my name is Jenny Garcia-Villegas, and I'm going to be your guys' MC tonight. I'm from Rogers New Technology High School, and I am so excited to share these brilliant minds with you guys. So let's get it straight started. TED Student Talks is a platform where young minds can ignite the stage with their innovative ideas, and these students have worked relentlessly working on these speeches and making sure that they're ready to deliver these brilliant ideas and visions for the future for you today. So our first speaker is going to be Campbell Walker. Campbell's a 6th grade student from Hellstern Middle School in Springdale R, so please help me in giving them the welcome they deserve. You got it.
Do you remember what you were doing a month ago, or possibly 3 days ago? You're probably thinking, not exactly. So let me ask you this. People 20 years and above of age, do you remember exactly what you were doing on 9/11? I know almost all of you do, because it was a huge historic moment in history. Some people even experienced something as big as 9/11 on a day of a normal routine. I'm here to let you know that you're not alone if you have had an overwhelming, stressful, or even devastating experience happen in your life. Hi, I'm Campbell Walker. Today I would like to tell you about my journey and how my journey has truly had an impact even on the way that I look at every day. We've all struggled with something in our life, whether it's with family, food, academics, economy-based, and more. And whether it's something minor or massive, it is still a huge deal. My mom was diagnosed with a tongue cancer called squamous cell carcinoma. This had a very hurtful impact on me, my family, and my mother. Everything started to slam when one day, on the weekend, my mom and dad pulled us into their bedroom and sat us down in their bed. Feeling as if this news wasn't going to be great, more of a one comment that could change more than everything. Anticipation washing over me with a large knot of fear forming in my stomach. I always felt like this when they had something important to say to us. My father, beginning the conversation, said, "You guys have already heard about the spot on your mother's tongue." We nodded our heads in agreement. My mother, then taking over the conversation, said, "Well, unfortunately, it turns out this is a kind of tobacco-related cancer that you get on the side of your tongue." What? I was confused because, hold on, my mom has never smoked, and no one in my family has. In fact, it is very unique for someone who's never smoked before. Risk factors are more common in age group 40 years and above of age. 2 times more common in men, and smokers are 5 times more likely to get it, according to the Mayo Clinic. She explained to us that the doctors have no explanation as to why she has this cancer. They acknowledged her knowing that she did not fit the profile as to patients who have also embraced this cancer. Continuing the conversation, my mother said, "It turns out I'm going to have surgery to get the cancer off before it spreads and gets worse." Me and my brother just sat there, pale to the bone, feeling as if my mouth could drop so low that maybe I would be able to disappear inside to the lack of hope and desperation in my heart. I felt my stable ground crumble and melt in the ash beneath me. I was shocked and shaken like nothing I'd ever experienced before. But my mind was enabling me to expand any negativity. Instead, it was beginning to think of the result of my mother being healthier and feeling better. Positivity, perseverance, and strength were going to be my advantage over the harassing feelings encircling me. At this point, I was thinking, this couldn't be reality. Knowing all this made my stomach unsettled, along with overwhelming thoughts creeping in and out of my head. But let me tell you, it was reality, and this experience wasn't going to go away. My dad soon speaking up was saying how everything was going to be okay. Well, in my mind, I was going bonkers. I mean, honestly, not many people know or know what to do in these situations. And let me tell you, I was definitely one of them. As more weeks were passing by, I began to see my mom's development of stress, overwhelmingness, and anxiousness. This made me really upset watching her go through this. She said that none of us understood what she was going through, and we didn't. But I wish so much that I could have experienced something like this so that my mom wouldn't have to feel like the only one in the world. Soon, February 21st, 2023 rolled its way around. My mom and dad were going to get the surgery done later today in the afternoon, though my dad insisted on dropping me off that morning for school. Of course, this had to happen on a school day. "Have a great day at school," he said. "Thanks," I said unsurely. Soon walking into the entrance of my school, I sat down, waiting for the bell to ring, feeling as if today just wasn't going to be the best. I felt a bolt of pure shock as the reality of the situation was coming back. I thought about her, just wondering if everything would be okay, or something bad would happen. Though in my heart, I knew that she was capable of going through anything and accomplishing anything. By pursuing this growth mindset, I was able to have a fantastic day at school with the people surrounding me and my assignments. This first quote which says, if you are positive, you'll see opportunities instead of obstacles. And the second one says, every day may not be good, but there's something good in every day. Both share the main desire of always seeing the bright white side of things, which represent all the positive moments and experiences that have happened, instead of focusing on the black spots in our lives, that represent all the obstacles and challenges that try to grab a hold and hold us back. In fact, additional studies have found that a positive attitude improves life satisfaction across the spectrum of conditions, according to hopkinsmedicine.org. Whenever I got home, I was expecting to see either my noni or grandma. They would be taking care of me and my brother all week. On the first night, my dad called to announce to us that Mom and him were having to wait till midnight in Washington Regional. His explanation included on how the doctors were going to have to do a surgery to remove the cancer off of her tongue and one in her neck to get lymph nodes so that they could run some tests to make sure that none of the cancer is spread. As I thought to myself about this was a huge leap from one objective to the next. Something that I had to keep in mind was that it wasn't just a lot of pressure on me or for me to handle. It was also a lot for my mom too. With my mind still disordered, I knew if she could do it, so could I. The next night, my father called us to check in on us and give us an update that Mom had a feeding tube in place to make sure that she was getting the proper nutrients and fibers that her body needed. Also just food to provide energy, since of course she couldn't eat anything through her mouth. He said that she couldn't speak, and she couldn't because we could only hear silence in the background. He informed us that she loves us very much though. In my mind, I could just imagine the swollenness of her tongue and neck and the irritation of pain while heroic tears rolled down her face. Just thinking about it gave me tears. Wednesday night, my dad called in to check on us also. My dad got some more confirmation on us and gave us more info on how everything was going from day to day. He said that our mom was getting stronger every day, and she's been feeling enough energy to come home lately. I was so excited whenever I heard this. He also told us how they took a walk around the hospital every day as well. That comment made my heart flutter up with joy and hope. At home, everything started to shift just a little. I was beginning to have to take on some responsibilities in my household that I usually didn't have to do, or wasn't even thinking about doing, including help with the dishes, laundry, and even making sure me and my brother got to bed on time. It's only whenever you take responsibility for your life that you discover how powerful you truly are. I thought this quote really demonstrates how valuable your attitude is when you're faced with an obstacle that forces you to have responsibility. You have the opportunity to chase them and conquer them, or you can turn your back to them and let them chase you, only forming like a mountain of difficulty behind you. By destroying your obstacles and forming those responsibilities stably, you can find your true self, find what you can become, and your true potential. I also had to make sure that I wasn't being sucked in by the moment or being weighed down by it. I had to make sure that I was still being able to focus on my schoolwork and have time to worry and think about my mom while also supporting my family. I had to find a balance through all this, and that absolutely was a challenge. On the Friday of that week, my mother and father came home. Me and my brother were overflowing with every sense of happiness in us, our faces drenching in tears. My dad told us how she had been missing us and missing home. Months passed before my mom soon found out that her results included no sign of any cancer left or any that had spread, but the doctors were going to have her do radiation just to be sure. She would begin her radiation in April 2023 at Highland Oncology. I was worried about this and kind of curious on what the result would be. As me and my dad were driving home after he picked me up from school, he told me how him and Mom had went to go get her first radiation done and how she got scared and was emotional about it. Through all these days, I was finding myself drowning in all the overwhelming information. I felt like there was nothing left in my upbeat world. Everything went by so fast, but yet so slow. Through the good and the bad days, I was finding myself through it, even though that I never knew I could. Whenever we would go out to eat or even to a store, my mom would wear scarves to cover her neck. I would tell her multiple times that she was beautiful no matter what she went through, and it didn't matter what other people thought or said, because she was the one that went through this all, not them. I know that whenever we were going to my school for my parent-teacher conferences, I was nervous. Not because I had any bad work in any of my classes or had been bad, simply because no one I knew had seen my mom wearing scarves. I wondered what they would ask, maybe what I'd be named after if they heard. I was filling myself with false conclusions, and I knew that this wouldn't happen, but I let myself think about it for no common reason at all. Some days I wonder if the cancer experience in my life is truly over, or if I still have another ledge to climb. My experience has truly expanded who I am as a person. I know through all this, I always stay positive to who I was. I had an experience that was my story, and will be my story to tell for a lifetime. As Aldous Huxley quotes, "Experience is not what happens to you, it is what you do with what happens to you." Aldous Huxley saw the same thing I did. He saw that the way that you approach or view an opportunity or life-changing situation can either be in a positive or negative way. You can either let your experiences break you down, or you can build off of them while making your own house. My experience wasn't a positive one, but I made it work and change it for the better. My mom is always in my heart in whatever I do, from sports to school to just even being the person I am today. She was a sensational example of grit and perseverance and taught me to always apply it into anything that I do. Her challenges never stop her from doing great things every day. I hope to be just like my mom whenever I'm older, or even just tomorrow. Even though that she's an example, I come back to this life experience too, because it always pushes me to be as mentally tough as I had to be while this experience was going on. In the end, this was a massive situation, but I learned that staying strong and hoping for the best can make a difference. An experience is an opportunity, whether it is good or bad. Whatever happens in your life, fight through it and make it the experience of a lifetime, just like mine. Thank you for the opportunity that you have given me here to speak today. Thank you for your time.